To offer items to the market, different companies have to work together. They form the supply chain that includes 3 basic steps: ordering goods, delivery of ordered goods, and payment for goods delivered. This is called order to cash. 3 main actors are involved here. Buyer, usually a retailer purchasing goods. Seller, usually a manufacturer supplying goods to a retailer. Transporter, delivering goods. They need to exchange business information supporting the trading process. Buyer sends an order to the seller. Seller informs the buyer about the goods sent. Seller sends an invoice to buyer. Transporter needs to know where to deliver which packages. This information can be sent in any way, for example by fax, post or email, or can be exchanged directly between computer applications of the actors involved as standard e-com messages. Using e-com allows automation that speeds up the process and eliminates errors. The main messages in order to cash are order, dispatch advice, invoice. Further benefits are offered by response messages like order response, receiving advice, and remittance advice or settlement. Let's start from the beginning, generating an order. The retailer records the stock level based on 2 sources. Sales report, data collected during barcode scanning at the point of sale. Stock level, recorded by scanning barcode on the goods coming into and leaving the warehouse. When the stock level drops below certain value, the system generates an e-com order and sends it to the seller. The order is received by the supplier's computer application and integrated into the enterprise management system. Based on stock level and manufacturing plan, the system generates the order response to inform the buyer if the order is accepted. Now goods can be prepared for dispatch. The picking lists helping find the goods in the warehouse are automatically generated. The pickers scan the barcodes on the pallets or boxes while picking them up from the shelves. If the pallets need to be broken down, new shipping units with new barcode labels are prepared. The shipping units are deposed at the dispatching gate to be loaded on the truck. While the goods are loaded, the warehouse operator scans barcodes on the pallets. When the loading is completed, the system generates a dispatch advice and sends it to the receiver of the delivery. A transport instruction for the carrier is also generated. The dispatch advice provides details of the shipping units, but since it's sent from the seller to the buyer, the carrier can't see it. If additional information is needed on the transport item, it's placed on the GS1 logistic label and barcoded to be scanned by the transporter. The retailer receives the dispatch advice before the delivery arrives and prepares to receive it. Reserves the time slot for the truck at the receiving gate. Allocates the warehouse locations to store delivered goods. Records traceability data for fresh food. When the truck arrives, the receiver scans the barcodes of all the pallets. The information system compares the goods received to the dispatch advice and detects possible errors. Goods that have not been ordered or have been damaged in transport are recorded as rejected. The system generates a receiving advice, including any rejected items, and sends it to the seller. Now the seller generates an invoice and sends it to the buyer. The invoice can be based on data from the order, dispatch advice or receiving advice, depending on the business scenario. The receiving advice gives the best guarantee of avoiding commercial disputes. The buyer places the goods at the store warehouse and on the store shelves. Barcodes are scanned when the goods are moved from the warehouse to the sales floor and at the point of sale. Based on these data, the buyer generates an order and sends it to the seller. Use of the GS1 standards in the order-to-cash scenario brings a lot of benefits. Reduction of errors and commercial disputes. Time saving and increase of service level. Cost savings. Customer satisfaction, and many more. To get more information and help in implementation, please contact your local GS1 member organization.